Hey, welcome back to COVID Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making egg rolls. Now there are a lot of different recipes out there for egg rolls, a lot of different variations on it. I am a Michigan girl, and so for me it was essential that my recipe include bean sprouts, as you'll see over here. These are actually pretty easy to make, and I'm actually going to be preparing quite a few. I've got a package that includes 20 wraps. So I'm going to be preparing some to cook today and some to freeze. Now, as I mentioned, I'm a Michigan girl through and through, and if you've ever been up there and had egg rolls, you know bean sprouts are a must. So let's start there with the ingredients. I've got bean sprouts, I've got ground pork, I've got some chopped green onion here, minced garlic, sesame oil for cooking. I've got some soy sauce, I use reduced sodium, some minced ginger, chicken broth, a little bit of sugar, and my finisher is actually gonna be this duck sauce here. That's what I'm gonna dip in. Over here I've got some actually coleslaw mix that was pre-prepared. That's a nice little cheat to save some time. And again, my wraps here that I'm gonna be using. So to get this started, I'm actually gonna go ahead and cook my ground pork. I'm gonna brown that in one pan separately, and then I'm actually gonna do my vegetables in another pan using the sesame oil to cook them down a little bit, and then adding the broth to cook them down further. I want them to be kind of tender but not overcooked. They still need to be firm enough to go into the wraps. And then some of these other things that you see back here will be adding to those vegetables as they cook. So we're back to our pork egg roll recipe. As you can see, I've got a pan actually back here with my ground pork sizzling in. I'm gonna let that brown. And I could have done this in a couple different ways. I could have cooked this in the same pan as my veggies. I'm trying to kind of multitask a little bit here. We'll see how that works out. What I'm going to do is let this cook and brown in one pan, and then I'm going to move on to another pan here that I've got to work on the vegetables. Now here's the pan I'm going to be cooking my vegetables in. I've got my pork cooking, and I actually did throw a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil in that pan. I'm actually going to throw some sesame oil into this pan. Sesame oil is one of those oils you have to be careful not to get the temp too high on. So we'll start with that. And then I'm going to throw in some minced garlic and some green onion. And this is kind of my first layer of what's going into the vegetable pan. So I've now got like a really delicious aromatic smell coming off of this sesame oil. There's nothing like cooking anything with sesame oil. And then the minced garlic and the green scallion cooked in there a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add the next layer, which in my recipe is going to be, I've got some soy sauce here, a couple tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm going to throw in my pan. I've got some minced ginger. And I've got a little bit of chicken broth. I've got a lot of vegetables I'm going to cook down, and I want that to get absorbed a little bit. And actually a tablespoon sugar. And now that I've got these ingredients in my pan, I'm going to go ahead and add my bean sprouts and my cabbage. Alright, so now I've added into my pan of vegetables my bean sprouts and my cabbage. It's kind of a 2-to-1 ratio in this recipe. 2 times cabbage. I used a 16-ounce bag, about an 8-ounce bag of bean sprouts. Back here you can see that the ground pork is browning. It is something I need to really break up into very small pieces as we go. Think about an egg roll. You're not usually seeing big chunks of meat in your egg roll. You're seeing little crumbs of meat in it. So we're going to break this up nicely as it continues to brown. And I'm actually going to drain some of this fat before I combine it with my sauteed vegetables over here. All right, well, we're back to making our egg roll mixture. I have sauteed my vegetables and I have browned my meat, and now I'm just going to combine those two things. Pull them off the heat, let them cool down just enough to be able to work with it, and then I'm going to start filling my egg roll wrappers. Now, one thing about egg roll wrappers when you're working with them is that they can get dried out very quickly, and so what I'm going to do is put them between like some moist paper towels while I'm going through the wrapping process so that doesn't happen. All right, we're about to begin the assembly process. So I have a cooled mixture here of my ground pork and tenderized vegetables. Again, I've got shredded cabbage, carrots, some bean sprouts in there, Detroit style, baby. A lot of good seasoning and oil. I've got my egg roll wraps here, and what I'm gonna do is seal those with water and then brush them with a little bit of oil. There are 3 ways to cook these. You can bake them, you can deep fry them, or you can air fry them. Today I'm actually gonna try the air fryer method because it's healthier, the cleanup is much easier, and quite frankly, that air fryer has never done me wrong. So we're gonna see how that turns out. All right, so I'm in the process of filling my egg roll wrappers with the mixture. As you can see here, I've got a couple just kind of sitting on my tray, and you want to actually put your mixture in at sort of a diagonal and then start with the lower corner, fold it in, and then bring in your sides, seal, and then roll, and then bring down your top and seal. Some people seal with egg, some people seal with water. I'm using water for this. One note on the mixture though, like you can make this as gingery, spicy as you want. I mean, it's just one of those things that you can really season to taste. You can try different sauces, you can try different spices. If it's not where you want it to be, you can easily add to your mixture more garlic, more ginger, more onion, whatever you need. And you can even try your mixture out a little bit before you start filling these just to make sure it's to your liking before you fry.